Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the Content Creators University. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Hightek. I am a cinematographer, software developer, and branding expert. After several years in the industry, I've decided to open this digital master school to help any content creator level up and impact in this world with the things and tools that we need, as we understand technology is what this is all about, and technology is always growing. So this is a platform that's going to teach us the things that we need to understand to keep growing, to keep impacting, and to keep evolving so that we can be the best version of ourselves and truly get the things that we need to take our endeavors, our businesses, our vision to the destination it needs to get. So welcome, buckle up for this episode. Let's get it started. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Content Creators University. I am always excited to be here with you guys. You guys know every single week, this is a rendezvous that we have, right? Every week we come right here. We have a saying, the day you stop learning, you stop growing. So if you want to keep learning, keep growing, keep elevating, well, this is the platform for you, right? For all content creators. And we know that a creator is somebody that's putting or bringing something to existence. So whether it's a business, whether it's your podcast, you name it, are you bringing something to existence? Well, this is a platform for you where we can learn from one of the best minds in the content IT ecosystem. And they teach us things that we need to master in our businesses, in our endeavors, how to monetize, how to truly attract our customers and really impact not just the people surrounding us, but make digital impression and truly build that legacy that we're trying to build. That's what this is all about. So if you're interested in this type of videos, I want to welcome you here. I am your humble servant, JP. If you don't know me, I am a cinematographer, branding expert, and software developer. What I do is help businesses, entities, individuals make a better impact with their visuals, right? So if you're all about elevating your visuals, you want to build the brand, right? You really want to build that brand, that premium presentation, whether it's through live videos like right now or through, recorded videos, website, graphic design, web design, those type of things, or cinematography. Well, I am the person to connect with. I will be more than happy to connect with you. So if you like this type of things, well, go ahead and smack the subscribe button. Go ahead and like this video if you appreciate it, and stick around, right? Activate the bell icon if you love this type of things so that you never miss any episode from us. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors. If you didn't know, this show is a weekly podcast that is listener and sponsor supported. So I want to thank for those of you that are supporting this podcast. Thank you so much. And if you're wondering how to support, well, there is very easy to support. Share this video, share the podcast, tune in, because as you're sharing that, you're putting the word out there. And as you're tuning in live, we're connecting and we can all grow together, right? You may have questions or you're wondering how to do certain things. Together, we're stronger. That is what this is all about. So on top of that, we do have our sponsors like Charles Jackson Media, a media company that will allow you, if you're looking, you're trying to figure out the best way to navigate this digital world, building a studio, what mic to use, lens to use, camera combination, and those type of things. Or you just want to brainstorm on the best way to elevate your media. That's a great company to connect with. Their website is charlesjackson.media. And also we have ExpressVPN, which is a sponsor on this platform, and they're offering you 3 months for you to use ExpressVPN. We know that now we're using the web more than before, right? COVID changed the way we're living our lives, and we need to protect ourselves, right? It is vital that we are careful and that we put guardrails surrounding us so we do not lose or have our investment compromised, right? That is what a VPN is all about. It's a virtual private network, for those of you who do not know. And I personally use ExpressVPN, and those are the few ones that I can recommend, and I'm very grateful that they are sponsors on this platform. Go ahead, visit expressvpn.com/JP Hightek. That's all you got to do if you want to get yourself 3 months free on select packages, right? So now let's talk about what is next in the Content Creators University before we bring our guest here. We have some news to share with you. So I want to ask you to stick with me. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. And let's run this animation and we'll be right back with the news.
Yo, it's your boy Jay Dunn. Look, you are on Content Creator University. You finally made it. It's live right now. So stay right here because it's about to be crazy. Let's go.
All right, RTN Streams, right? Another sponsor on the platform. If you're wondering what is RTN Streams, well, right now I am broadcasting this live stream using my encoder, which is Ecamm Live, that I'm encoding it out. But this encoder does not allow you to do the things that RTN Streams is allowing you to do. For example, I am using RTN Streams right now to broadcast this to my Roku TV application. And I actually use RTN Streams to build and create my Roku TV application. Everything is connected to what I'm doing, makes it push button easy for me to broadcast both on Roku TV and on Amazon Fire TV and also on my website. So if you're trying to elevate your live streams or you have a private event or you want to do those type of things, separate yourself. And really, as a branding expert, I'll tell you that you really got to do things that the average person is not doing if you truly want to dominate the competition, right? So that is what I'm using RTN Streams to do. Shout out to them. Their website is rtnstreams.com. Go ahead and check it out, folks. You will not regret it. Now, who is next or what is next? What's the news on the Content Creators University? Well, like I'm saying, the podcast is available right there. As you can see, I'm showing you. You can access the podcast. We talk about Roku, right? You can download my Roku TV application. The name is JP Hightek TV. Go ahead and download that today, 100% free. And you can connect with us every single week. For the folks that are right there in your home, shout out to you in your living room. I'm glad that you're connected with us every single week and you're welcoming us into your home, right? Thanks a lot. Share the word around and go ahead and connect with us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, you name it, we are everywhere. And one thing that I want to ask you is whenever you go and you download the podcast and you're tuning in or you're listening to it, leave us a review, right? Leave a review on your favorite platform and let us know what you like about the show. If you received anything, if this is impacting any value to you, I want to know. Let us know. We will highly appreciate that. Now, talking about community, folks, we do have our private community right there. Oops, looks I have a text message. Let me hide that for the folks that are watching. But here's our community right there. It's called Creators Unleashed by Content Creators University. If you want to connect with other creators, like-minded people, go ahead and connect with us, right? Come to Facebook. Again, the name is Creators Unleashed by Content Creators University. It's free, but it's private. And we talked about this before, the power of networking. You got to network, folks. And that is what this is all about. So network, connect with us, and let's all grow together. Now, we also have, you already know, the masterclass from the Creators Unleashed Act 1, which was a conference that we had. Now we have the masterclass available. All you have to do is go to jphightek.com/CCU replay, right? For the folks that are listening, JP Hightek, Hightek is HIGHTK.com/CCU replay. You want to get this because in here, you will learn a lot of secrets. We have several speakers that dropped a lot of bomb, a lot of, knowledge and wisdom on the best way to do business and elevate the things that we're doing so that we can truly leave off of what we're doing, right? We can go full time, which is a great segue to what we're talking about today, because today our guest went full time, right? He stopped the 9 to 5 and he built his own business. So you have to invest in yourself if you really want to go full time one day. And these are one of the ways you can do that. And you guys know the year is almost over. The question I'm going to ask you is, how are you investing in yourself to guarantee your success in 2022? Right? Very, very important things that you want to think about. So without further ado now, let me go ahead and bring our guest onto the stage. There he is onto the screen. Hey, Chris, how's it going? I was just saying that you decided to really go all in into what we can call it your passion, right? But before we dive into all of that, how you doing today? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing peachy. How are you this fine Wednesday evening?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate you. It is an honor to have you here. We always say, right, that our guests are our professors. So you're going to be our professor today. We're going to take note, learn from your story, your background, your expertise, and we're excited about that. But okay. Let me slow down for the folks that are like, come on, JP, you jumping the gun. Let's ask you to please introduce yourself for the folks that do not know you.
Sure. Well, my name is Chris Bryant. Nice to meet you. I run a small video production agency called Empire Studios. We've been filming since 2005, coast to coast. We do a lot of stuff in the manufacturing space. But really, the whole philosophy behind the company is just creating strategic video content that moves our clients' needle and improves their bottom line. Um, Photographer, love traveling when it's not COVID. Huge animal lover, and in my spare time when I'm not running the company, I'm also a filmmaker.
Awesome. So the right person for the right topic, I will say, right? Because you're on a show called Content Creators University. All of us here, we're content creators. A lot of folks don't know there's a difference between a hardcore cinematographer and a content creator. And you're not just a cinematographer, you're also a content creator. So thank you so much. So now, this it doesn't echo when Chris speaks, just FYI, we appreciate that. We will try our best to minimize that. Now, of course, Chris, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, right? We're about to eat some chicken. We're about to put PJs on or what have you, and really have fun. Now, let me ask you this, Chris. Let's see how you're gonna vibe to these questions that are coming. First thing, let me ask you: are you a waffle guy or pancakes?
It's close. It's very close. I'd have to say waffle edges out just because it holds the syrup a little bit better. You know, I'll go waffle.
He said he's gonna go waffle. Well, the syrup is a part integral of it, right? We cannot dismiss it. It just adds that sweetness to it. All right, cool. So let's talk about something that we know a lot of homes are gonna have, which is of course turkey. But some people eat chicken, right, instead of turkey. So let's see. Are you a chicken type of guy or are you a turkey type of guy?
Normally, non-Thanksgiving chicken, it just tastes better. For Thanksgiving, I'm a little bit traditional, so I'd have to say turkey for Thanksgiving.
Turkey all the way. Hey, for the folks that are trying to get mad at me, like JP, what are you talking about? This is the Turkey Day. We cannot let anybody else steal the show. Hey, folks, don't be the messenger. You know, I have a survey that I took, and I found the last. I saw that okay, some folks eat chicken. Well, hey, is what it is, right? But okay, we have something else. Rice or beans?
Rice. Easy.
Rice. Hey, you're not. I know there's a reason why I liked you, man. Welcome to the Rice team. I personally love rice as well. And now, final question in regards to this: are you an early bird? Are you gonna wake up early in the morning and watch the parade or anything like that, or are you a night owl?
Both. I get up early. I stay up late. I figure I'm still a young guy. I can be sleeping 6 hours a night and not have a problem. So I'm an early
Right.
bird. So I wake up at like 7 a.m. I'm like I've wasted time already. I could have been doing things or getting things done. So I'm kind of both.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because speaking about the things that you do, it makes sense. Because I mean, for folks that know anything about cinematography or videography or that world, you can have all kinds of schedules, right? You can have super early in the morning, at nighttime, and all that. So you gotta be adaptable, I would say. So that's pretty cool. Now, before I ask you the first question, let me go ahead and give a shout out to the folks that are joining us in this live show. What's going on, folks? Thanks for joining us here. I see First Lady Cree, and also go ahead and share it and ask us for the folks that are right there on Instagram. Hop on YouTube, right? If you want to ask any questions or anything like that, hop on YouTube so we can continue the conversation. So now we're about to dive into this. Okay, Chris. A lot of us, want to understand. So why did you choose specifically video as your artistic voice, right? As the way to, I know you do a little bit of, other ones like you just said, but primarily you built a company and you chose video to be that main thing to do. Why specifically video at the forefront?
I mean, there's two major reasons. One, video is I love the creativity of it. It's visuals, it's lighting, it's audio, it's all those things. Where photography, which I love doing as well, It's just a visual medium only. And with film, with video, you can elicit more responses, have the music come in and swell at just the right time to evoke a response. So I love that. But also, and the reason why I decided, hey, let's start a company is because I feel, and I felt back then, I still feel more than ever now, that video is the future as far as content creation, as far as marketing for companies. You need to have video. So I know that there's a tremendous growth.
That is true. That is true. And what's exciting is that you went all in, but we're about to get into that in just a minute, right? How you actually build a six-figure company, quit your 9 to 5 job. But just, foundational questions. We need to dive into it so we can understand the way you were thinking, and so we can like leave the story and you walking us through it, and talking about you walking us through your story. Take us back, right, to when you were in college, and when you had this burning desire in your heart to really take this all in, leave this 9 to 5, and you just had those dreams like a lot of folks do, right? And to really want to build something and have that pay their bills, right? What was the catalyst? When did you know, okay, this is it? And what was the cause, right? And how did you do it?
Well, when I went to college, I went to Western Connecticut State University. I was a media arts major, so learning how to do film. And I was getting good. I had my first video camera, actually still sitting over there on a shelf over my museum of old cameras. But my stepbrother was getting married, and I'm like, you know what? I work at a grocery store. I don't have a whole lot of money. I want to get him something nice. So I brought my video camera, and I thought to myself, I'm going to make him like a nice little recap video of his wedding. And I get there and I realize that he's got like a 2-person video crew that he had hired. I'm like, all right, well, I'm still going to make this thing. And I filmed it from like my spot in the pew and everything. And I filmed it as I could. And I had no real experience aside from a couple, semesters in college. And I cut this thing together. I took my time with it. I sent it to him. He said, that was better than the one I just paid all this money for. He said, you should do this and like charge money for it. And I'm thinking, I could charge make video, because I'm thinking just in my head, you have to be a filmmaker. You have to go to Hollywood and make big budget movies. And that kind of like set off a spark. I'm like, I could charge to make a video. And if, like a lot of people in the video industry, I got my start doing weddings in that case, just because I had a little bit of experience, and then it started growing from there. But really, the way that I did it is I started it on the side. It was a side hustle, and my secret weapon kind of was my wife. When we got married in 2005, we talked about it, and it was decided, and it was largely her idea, that the majority of the money that we got for wedding presents, we'd invest in my first video camera and microphone system, and to jumpstart the business. And then from there, it was basically any penny I made making video, it went right back into the business, investing it, business cards, a new tripod, a lighting system, things like that. Software. So you start kind of building it up. But it got to the point where, and we're big as far as, being financially sound, making sure we have an emergency backup fund as well. So there's that kind of a safety net. But it got to the point where every year, and I did a graph a couple of years ago just to get an idea as far as income that came in from the company. Every year since 2005, when I started out on the side, business approximately doubled every single year exponentially. And it got to the point where I was working my 9 to 5 job. I was no longer in a grocery store. I was in a corporation. But like in the morning, I'd be up doing emails. On my lunch break, I'd bring my laptop and I'd work on edits on my lunch break. I'd go home and I'd be editing until like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it just started to become not sustainable, to the point where I'm like, I'm going to have to make a decision. Do I continue doing this video, or do I keep working a corporation? And the place I worked, it was great, but it wasn't my passion, video. And one big project came through, and I'm like, I don't have any more vacation time from work. I can't take time off. So it's either I say yes to this big project and I have to quit, or I say no to the, or vice versa. So, my wife and I looked at the numbers and we're like, let's do it. Let's make the jump. But I mean, for anybody who's in that position where they haven't made the jump yet, or they're about to, or they want to, let me tell you, it's nerve wracking. It is. I mean, it's like you're swinging from, vine to vine, tree to tree, but at that moment, it's like you almost have to let go of that first vine without fully having a grasp of the second one, and you have to have that faith in yourself in the process. And one thing that I kept in mind, and I was talking to people and hearing things, having virtual mentors, just watching videos and speaking to people, in person mentors as well. But the key to that success is, and to really just go at it full, is to not have a plan B in your head. Don't think, okay, if this doesn't work, then I'm going to go back to my 9 to 5, or I'm going to go back to this, or hey, you know what, worst case scenario, I'll, work at, fast food place or something. Nothing wrong with that. But when you're trying to go full time, that's a step back. So I'm thinking there is no plan B. I must make this work. And, that was a number of years ago. I don't even know when I went full time. It was like 6 or 7 years ago. I went full time with it, but it all worked out. And all the time that I was spending at my 9 to 5, I was now spending marketing and networking and creating more content and getting it out there. And of course, there's that fire under you at that point to make sure that you put out great content and you get the work in.
Wow. Wow. I'm already mind blown. Thank you so much for sharing that. Honestly, it's just amazing, right? It amazes me how deep what you said. And I hope the folks that are watching or listening to this podcast are realizing how deep what you're saying is. And especially the part where you said, okay, going all in, you have to know that you do not have any plan B. And that alone is an aspect that cripples a lot of people, because the human nature, right, wants you to have like a plan B or something. Like, what if? The what if could be that one thing that may be holding you back. And that's how I resonated with your story, right? Because whenever you don't have any other option, if you truly do not have any other option, all you can do is figure it out. There's no what if. There's no other option.
Yeah.
Right? And having that type of mindset of, okay, there's no other option. Let's go. I cannot look back. Either I win or I fail. If I fail, there's nothing behind to catch me, right? If I fall back, nobody's going to hold me. I'm just going to be on the ground. So I love that. Now, of course, we know all stories have those times of doubt, those times of maybe quote unquote regret, or those times of, gosh, did I do the right thing, right? Me going all in, do I regret? Some people go through that. Let me ask you, how hard was it for you? Was it any time where you were looking back? You said you didn't have any plan B, but was there any time you felt like, oh man, did I make the right choice? Was it right? Because you have bills and you have different things to take care of. Share with us that aspect of your story.
Yeah, I mean, certainly at the beginning, when I had just gone full time with it and I had that big project actually right around the same time, just to add drama to this whole story, my wife also left her 9 to 5 within a month or two of me leaving my 9 to 5 so she can go full time with what she was working on. She started a ministry. So now we're both entrepreneurs, so to speak, and not getting a steady paycheck in. And so, run the numbers, and it's like, okay, well, with this big job that came in and our monthly expenses, we're not doing anything extravagant. We're kind of on a budget here, especially at the beginning. Okay, we've got 2.5 months before we're out of money. So what happens? And like a 9 to 5, okay, every 2 weeks I'm going to get direct deposit into my paycheck. When you are your own boss, it's like, if the work's not coming in, you're not eating. So it's always, there, especially at the beginning when I was still building things up, there were some sleepless nights, definitely. Thinking about, okay, I haven't got any calls, or this hasn't worked out, or that project that somebody wanted to do, they've pushed out a few months, they're not even ready, they haven't called me back, or what X, Y, Z reason. So there's a lot of, there's certainly stress, especially earlier on. But what happened was, of course, being very prudent as far as finances. And once things started to kind of come in, it started to snowball a little bit. Because you're only as good as your last project. You're only as good as your last at bat. So, I mean, I love customer service. I love people in general. So it came across. So the vast majority of the new business I had gotten up to that point, even to today, is either repeat business because they love me and they want to work with me again, or word of mouth. Hey, oh, you're doing a video? I just had a video done by this guy, this company. Check them out. So just really knocking everybody's socks off is really, and every single time, assume somebody is right behind you that wants to take it from you, that's charging a little bit less, and always assume somebody's chasing you, and you'll make it. But really, just keeping keeping my nose to the grind and not having that plan B is what helped. But finances, of course, was a major thing, and of course, imposter syndrome. I still get that. You know, you look at somebody like JP that's got all the stuff figured out and this amazing personal branding and the behind the scenes stuff, and it's like, man, I'm doing nothing. Like, as far as JP, oh my goodness, like amazing, amazing stuff, man. So, when you compare yourself to somebody who's very, very high up, and it's a healthy thing to do, to look at other people for inspiration, not compare it. Don't compare yourself to that person, but use them as motivation. Like, I want to get to the point where Peter McKinnon is, or that level of cinematography. Don't think, oh man, my stuff sucks compared to him. No, you got to compare yourself really to yourself. How were you last year? Look at your content you shot a year ago. And if you're like wincing, good news, that means you're improving. If you look at stuff you did 5 years ago, yeah, that was pretty good. Maybe take one of JP's courses and like really, dial it in and work on your skill set. Because, if you, dude, one of the things you said, I love it. If you're not learning, you're not growing. So no, truer words have never been spoken. So I don't know where I was going with that, but that's.
No, I love it, man. I love it. And that's so true. That what you're saying, I'm resonating with it a whole lot, right? Yeah, I mean, it's natural to have doubts and to have moments of uncertainty and in times of just fear take over. That's natural, but it's what you do with the feeling you get that matters, right? How do you address it? How do you redirect that negative energy, or how do you face it? That is what's going to determine who you are. Everybody, even the wealthiest folks, I say they all have that, right? They may not have it at the same level as us. They have different problems, but I guarantee you everybody goes through that. And the imposter syndrome is just a syndrome that even the biggest superstar, the most achieved, you will be surprised they have a counselor or they have somebody that helps them, personal affirmations and things like that. That's why those things are important in order to use. And I love that, right? Like knowing that, okay, I'm getting inspiration of something, an area of my production, my business, my endeavors, my creativity that I need to improve. And that might be a goal, a personal goal, but also be real with yourself. Like you said, Chris, that I like is, where was I last year? Where was I 3 months ago, 6 months ago? Being honest and seeing that, did I grow at all? Like, or am I just stagnant? Right. And if you see growth, celebrating the little successes that we have takes us a long way, and not just dive in, because those can be pretty bad, and then you just depress and different things and you said, I'm not doing anything. So now let me ask you this. What would you say was the key to your success? Because some folks will tell you, yeah, Chris, I'm doing the same thing, right? But what would you say were the one thing, or the couple of things, combination of things maybe that you've done that maybe put you ahead? Or maybe it's a specific industry that you targeted, or stuff like that, right? Because when we talk about video production, I mean, you can be a wedding videographer, you can be a music video producer, you know what I mean? Like, is broad. What did you do? What would you say was the thing that helped you?
Yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, always be learning. Always be learning. The second you stop, other people are going to catch up and they're going to surpass you. So always be honing your craft, reading blog articles, watching YouTube videos, taking online courses, and always be honing your craft. Another thing that I think is a success is also mindset. There's a saying that a character from How I Met Your Mother would say, for anybody who's seen the show, Barney, he said, challenge accepted, whenever there's something that was, big coming up, or he had a problem. And I think of those two words, if there's a problem or a challenge I'm facing, whether it's huge and massive or small, and it's like, okay, this is tough, but you know what? Challenge accepted. Let's go through and let's bang this thing out. So a lot of it is a positive mindset. But I think that earlier on, and I mean, we're more successful now, so it's not so much a thing, but especially at the beginning, where a lot of people are, where they just started or they want to start, is having a solid financial footing. Um, you know, Having a backup, emergency fund helps you sleep at night. And having a good night's sleep is instrumental in, content creation and running a business. So if you know you've got a little bit, you just figure, okay, what are my monthly expenses? What can I cut back on? Let's say, I don't know, $3,000 a month, $2,000 a month. Okay, I want to have at least 6 months in savings backup, just in case, starting today, if I get no work, zero, between now and like 6 months from now, I'm okay. I'm okay at my current. I don't have to be cutting anything back beyond what I have now. So I'd say have a solid financial footing. If you're doing this on the side, if you have a 9 to 5 job, let your 9 to 5 job pay your bills, and then any money you're making on the side, invest that in whether it's equipment or training. You need less equipment than you think you do. Don't get gear envy and be seeing like the new slider that came out. It's like, oh, it's motorized and it does all this stuff. You don't need it. You have the basics. Don't get overloaded with the equipment. I mean, your phone shoots 4K now, for crying out loud, in like 60 frames a second. So a lot of it is training, and so invest in yourself, but don't get too bogged down by the gear. I know those are 8 million points, but those are some of my tips there.
Awesome, man. I'm loving that. We're going to go ahead and take an ad break. And when we come back, I want us to talk about, certain things like, if you were to, if you had a do-over, what would you do? And those type of things, and look at that aspect, and also talk about your gear that you're using right now on this broadcast. So stay with me, folks, and we'll be right back.
Hey man, this is DJ Strick, and you're watching Content Creators University with JP Hightek. Man, don't miss a thing. Stay right here.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Good to be here, man. Good to be here. This is amazing, man. This space you've created, phenomenal, bro. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm excited to be here, man. Excited.
You,
Content Creators University, man. Woo!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the show, Lenita.
What a pleasant surprise. Thank you for the welcome and for the amazing introduction.
All right, folks, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, well, we've been speaking with Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant is the director of creativity, media director, and CEO founder of Empire Studios. And he quit his 9 to 5, right? And he went all in and he built a 6-figure video production company. So today we're learning from his story, from his background, his philosophy. How did he do it? Why did he do it? What are the things that motivated him and kept him going? And how can you and I do the same thing, right? This is what this show is all about. And if you appreciate it, well, stick with us, share it with a friend or family member as we all growing together, right? Chris, thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for all the awesome jams you've been dropping. Thank you so much, right? So now we're going to take this one step further because we want to know, what if you had a do-over? Would you have done everything the same way you did it? If not, what are the things that you believe you will do differently and why?
So yeah, if I could talk to myself in like 2006, back when I was like really starting to get some clients under my belt, two things, two big things. And I think a lot of people that are starting out fall into this category. One, I would take the business a lot more seriously, a lot sooner, and I would work on marketing a lot more. I'd put a serious investment in marketing very early on, but overall, just taking it, taking it seriously. But the second one, and it kind of goes counterintuitive to people, especially when they're starting out, I would have charged more. I was going through some old hard drives the other day, and I saw some old invoices from like, yeah, '05, '06, '07. I'm like, how did that cover any of my expenses? Like, these people are getting a crazy steal. And I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, most of the time, most people, especially when they're starting out, I'm talking the first like 10 years of them doing this where they're charging people, they can probably double their prices and it still is underpriced what they should be charging based on their quality. So I think I would have realized my value earlier and charged more earlier, if that makes any sense. So for anybody who's watching this, who's charging and they're like, yeah, I just did a music video for $500. I'm part of some Facebook groups of some freelancers and videographers and things. And they're like, yeah, what do you guys think of this music video? And they're like, hey, I charged $500 to do this. I'm like, you're missing a zero. Like, that is amazing. You got to start charging legit like 10 times more than what you did because this is amazing. And they don't give themselves credit. They're thinking, well, it's easy for me and I enjoy it. And it's like, if you really want to go if you want this to be your 9 to 5, then, charge what you're worth. That's my biggest thing is probably raising prices earlier.
Oh man, that is phenomenal. Hashtag charge your worth. Folks, if you join into live, let us know. If you join the replay, hashtag replay and hashtag charge your worth, folks, because this is everything, right? Because that could be subjective, but at the same time, that is what's paying our bills. Right. So if you truly want to replace, you got to understand the companies are employing us, right? Because you can work for a production company and things like that. If they're not charging their worth, if they're not charging those amounts that make sense, there's no way they can hire anybody. There's no way you and I we can have a job. So that is amazing. That I appreciate that for Slater Creed. She's pointed, charge your word, hashtag charge your word. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm loving that. That is what this is all about, right? Thank you so much. Now, for somebody that is, about to start his production company this year, 2021 or maybe 2022, and he's trying to figure out, I know you've dropped a lot of wisdom, but what would you tell that person? You're starting out. These are, let's say, the 3 to 5 things you want to do, and you want to make sure you do it right. As a professional, what can you say?
First and foremost is mindset. I know that there are a lot of other content creators out there, a lot of other video companies that are doing what you feel is identical to what you are doing. Don't worry about it. I believe it's a Chinese proverb. I love it. It says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So get going with what you have. Yeah, man. I'm all about the proverbs and the sayings. But yeah, I mean, don't worry about what is in the past. Don't worry about you wasting time. If you're 50 years old and you want to start doing this, good. Go for it. Do it. You got decades and decades of, usable, run around and doing stuff. So, learn all you can. I'd say learn all you can. Have a positive mindset. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Use them as inspiration. Don't compare yourself to them as like, they're so much better than me. Say, I want to get to that level. How are they doing it? What techniques are they using? And I'd say learn all you can. Learn all you can. And actually, JP and I were just chatting about this before the episode. And, if you see another company up the street that's doing video production, okay, in the traditional sense, they're competition. No, they're a network. They're your friends. They know what you're doing. If you need another camera operator and you're in a pinch, you can go call them and say, oh yeah, sure, and vice versa. So it's a big community. I mean, don't worry about competition because there's a lot more non-video companies that need video than there are video companies or content creators. There's plenty of work to go around. So those are some of the big things. And one more thing too, just off of that other one, which I think is super important, that previous question too is, and it kind of goes into this one. If you've got like a first client and it's like, okay, great. And you're doing a video and it's like $400 or $800 for the video. And you're like, okay, I got to raise my prices. I realize that I'm way undercharging and the scope is creeping up, and you start raising your pricing. And this is something I need to learn earlier. I need to learn this like earlier on when I was doing things is if your client that's used to charging, or used to paying like $800 for your video that's worth like 5 times more, if you raise the price and they go, I'm sorry, we can't keep working together, don't sweat it. They just did you a favor. They are not your client. If people have all kinds of budgets, if their budget is like $500, you know, thank you. I was on my training wheels when I was with a client like that. Great. I'm investing more in equipment. I'm learning more. I'm getting better. You have to raise your prices. Don't worry about raising the prices when the quality is improving and you can see, objectively, like, holy cow, it's night and day difference. Don't worry about raising the prices. And when clients kind of say, I'm all set, I'm sorry, don't worry about it. There are clients that have higher budgets that will pay you what you're worth.
Oh man, that's so good. That's so good. And you are speaking the truth. Hashtag truth. You are speaking it. And that is something that a lot of folks that are starting out in this sphere are struggling with. Whether you're a video producer, you're a photographer, you're a graphic designer, you name it, right? You're an artist, singer, or you name it. This is something that a lot of folks struggle with. The fear of losing what you already have. But the reality is that if you do not make room, you're not going to have anything better than that, right? Like this anecdote that you want a new car, it's parked in your driveway. You don't have room for any new car. You got to make room so that you can have the space for a new car to park. You have to move the old one out the way. So this is so good. Now let me ask you this. We're almost at the end of our interview. Let me ask you this. What would you say was your proudest CEO moment?
I mean, a big thing about the stuff that I do is I want to see success for my clients. I mean, when I get a job, great, there's food on the table, right? But the biggest winner is the client, and it's moving the needle, it's helping them out. I had a client who reached out to me a few years ago. It was right after I had done a company overview video for them. They hadn't ever had done video production before. I flew out, I did the content for them, and it included interviews with the president and some of the higher ups there, because I'm a big fan of having interviews on those types of videos because it helps to humanize the company. Well, they had, right around the time I produced that for them, unbeknownst to me, they had an issue with like one of their biggest customers. Like, I'm talking millions of dollars a year. And the president, all the big people flew out there to kind of smooth things over. They're in a conference room, mahogany table. Their customer wasn't very happy. And at one point, the president said, hey, you know what? We just finished a video about us. I'd love to play it. And, so he just decided to play the video during this kind of tough meeting. It was the video that we had produced. And when the lights came up after the video, the customer turned to the president and said, that is the kind of company I want to do business with. And he said, at that moment, the entire mood shifted and they ended up keeping the customer. And I know this story because as soon as he walked out of that building, he called me, the president, and said, here's what just happened. Thank you very much. And I don't usually hear too much about the successes like that, but it gave me chills, and like I still like get excited every time I tell it, because the video cost a couple $1,000s, right? And not a couple, it's a little bit, but it didn't cost millions. And not just that, but who's that customer going to say? And that millions of dollars are annually, so it paid for itself a trillion times over. I mean, they're still now to this day still a repeat customer, of course, but hearing tangible success like that, that helps me. That gets me out of bed in the morning.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I can relate, right? I can relate as a fellow professional as well. Those are the type of things that we want to hear, we want to know when, after all said and done, the client is really getting their ROI, right? Return on investment, right? And they're really killing it. And we're like, there we go. That's what this was all about. The sweat, the hard work. This was the purpose of it. And that's just phenomenal. Now, we're at the end of it. Of course, we can't let you go without asking you where are the places or spaces that you prefer people to connect with you on social media, what have you. Let us know so that people can connect with you.
Yeah, so definitely I'm on Twitter all the time, constantly. It's _Chris Bryant, because Chris Bryant was taken. So _Chris Bryant. I'm there all the time. You can look me up on LinkedIn. I think it's like linkedin.com/in/CRBryant7. something like that. But look for me, yep. So I think I have a similar photo to what JP used for the promo for this, where I'm longingly looking at him. Do you guys notice that? Look at the promo material for this. It looks like I'm just kind of like longingly staring at JP. But so I think that's my LinkedIn profile photo currently. So yeah, LinkedIn and Twitter is really where that's my sandbox.
Awesome, and of course, he's on YouTube, folks. Connect with him on YouTube. Chris Bryant. Bryant, of course, is Bryant. Connect with him on YouTube and follow his journey. If you want to book his company or work with him, he is an amazing guy, as you guys can discover in this show. Well, Chris, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time and everything you've dropped today. Those were high values. And happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And let's all enjoy. And like you said, I'm not sure if you're going to wake up early, but I'm going to send you a text and see what's up if you're up.
Sounds good, man. Thank you very much for having me. And I hope everybody got a lot of value out of it and just take action on it.
Absolutely. Stay backstage so that I can close you out. I'll be right back with you. All right, family, this is it. As you can see, those are things that we want to know. We want to learn. And those are the type of stories that can give you and I hope, right? If you're losing hope, well, this is a season of hope. Thanksgiving, where we gather with family, we're thankful. We look back at all the great things that, just the simple fact of being alive. So I want to take the time and wish each and every one of you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for listening to the podcast and downloading. Thank you for, contacted me, for the folks that ended up contacting me, working with me and my brand, my company, Perfect Zone Productions. Thank you so much. Looking back, it was a phenomenal walk, and the walk keeps going. The year is almost over, and I'm excited to see where we were going with this, right? How we're gonna grow and where we're gonna all go to, what level we're gonna get to in 2022. Enjoy your family, enjoy your time with each and every one that you have loved ones. And of course, I'll see you guys next week for another video. Like I always say, be blessed. Shalom, folks. Bye.